Elon Musk and the New York Times are going back and forth today, debating whether or not hate speech is on the rise or on the decline on the Twitter platform. Let's take a look. 9:30 this morning, New York Times sends out breaking news. Hate speech on Twitter has jumped since Elon Musk took over, our researchers found. Musk sent up a bat signal to every kind of racist, misogynist, and homophobe that Twitter was open for business, one of the research groups said. So just before I was about to click over to this New York Times article, I noticed this tweet from Jason Rantz, which I thought had a very interesting spin. I'm going to share it with you now. Newsrooms across the country will amplify this claim without seeing the research. Reporters couldn't be bothered to link to the study they're citing. Where is it? Yet the article criticizes Elon Musk for not citing his own research when he claims that Twitter hate is down. So I said, that's a very interesting observation, Jason Rantz from the West Coast. You should follow him on Twitter. He's fantastic. And I said, let's go over to the article and find out where this study actually comes from and who said that Elon Musk sent out this bat signal. Hate speech rise on Twitter. Unprecedented researchers find. And so I'm scrolling through it as Rantz suggested, and I'm looking for a link to the study. I can't find it. Very observant, Rantz. Elon Musk set up a bat signal. You already heard this. So who said this? The chief executive of the Center for Countering Digital Hate. Ooh, that sounds legitimate. The Center for Countering Digital Hate. So I went over to their website and I dug up their study where they indicate that digital hate on Twitter is up. And it ends up that this study was posted November 10th, like 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So this really isn't a new story, New York Times. And what they found was in the first week, so this would be the week beginning October 31st of Musk's full ownership, a bunch of hate words went up in usage on Twitter, which is a bad thing. People shouldn't be, it's free speech, but you wouldn't find me using these words, I don't think. Although I probably at one point or another probably have used it, but it's not something part of my normal vocabulary, not something I would really want to probably read. But nonetheless, they found that all these bad words were on the increase in Musk's first week on the job. But that doesn't really justify this article, does it? Because that was 3 or 4 weeks ago. So then today, just like a half an hour or so ago, Elon Musk sends out this tweet, which almost seems like designed to counteract the New York Times article. Hate speech impressions, the number of times tweet was viewed, continued to decline despite significant user growth. And so what he's saying is that growth of users is up, but hate speech is down. You would expect to see some type of parallel growth. But no, actually, what he's saying is that over-indexing or under-indexing in this particular case, hate speech is going down while user growth. You get it. Okay. Twitter safety will publish further data later, but we just wanted to basically get this chart out here because the New York Times is quoting some data from 3 or 4 weeks ago. So when you look at the chart from Elon Musk, hate speech impressions, the big blue thing on the screen, hate speech impressions are lower. Now, when you look at that, you can see a spike, which comes at the very beginning of November. You see that spike. So when the Center for Digital Hate, or whatever the hell they're called, when they found all this stuff happening in early November, they were more or less right, even according to Elon Musk's tweet or chart here. But since then, since he's got, and it's been if you've been following this thing, this Twitter Elon Musk is a fast moving story. I mean, I didn't even get to update the fact that, he basically had a beer with Tim Cook and Apple won't ban them from the Apple Store. But, that happened and things moving like at light speed. And since you've seen here, since that spike in early November, things have been more or less flat. Not that you really want this, but it has not been a continued spike. Twitter safety will publish more data later. And I'm sure we'll hear more about this continually. But I think what will happen, as Jason Rantz is pointing out here, is that the New York Times is effectively the newsroom for everybody else, right? They're the epicenter of misinformation in a way. By the way, also breaking today, I couldn't help notice, in totally unrelated news, the New York Times workers threatened to walk out over wage dispute. So they're threatening a one-day walkout on December 8th. You know, when you threaten a 24-hour walkout, it's really lame. I mean, if you're going to walk out and you're going to strike, then just strike. But keep in mind that there are a lot of companies out there doing huge layoffs in the technology information space. So, yeah, you might walk off the job, but then the company might realize, hey, we don't really need you anymore, anyways, right? There have been a lot of people that have resigned from Twitter, and Twitter's been like, okay, fine, you just saved us some more money. And there's been a lot of people that Twitter's laid off that Twitter's like, yeah, we didn't. I mean, they've cut like half their force, maybe even more than that. Now, in doing that, they have laid off a couple of people. They were like, oh, gee, I'm sorry about that. Come on back. You know, that's happened. But careful what you wish for, New York Times workers. Now, I really hope that this doesn't hurt people like that, you know, print the paper and ship the paper. I hope this actually hurts the people that write the paper. But I know it won't. It will probably hurt the rank and file, which is sad. But we'll see how this breaks. And I will keep you up to date. I'm John F. Gately. You can call me Jack, broadcasting to you from beautiful Plymouth, behind enemy lines here in Massachusetts. You have a great day. Bye-bye.